Hi there, I'm Gideon Shabib, and welcome to this introductory video for game design. Regardless of what type of game you're talking about, be it a card game or a dice game like you'd see at a casino, or a board game that you might play with your family like Battleship or Monopoly, even a video game that you might see advertised on TV like Halo or Call of Duty, and even the new games you see coming out in the virtual reality realm, like this one shown on the Oculus Rift, they all require some form of design. Every game can be described in the same way if you look at it in a systematic fashion. Doesn't matter how complex or how simple. The important key step to get to being able to describe each game is to have a common definition of terms. Let's start with ours. At its core, a mechanic is anything that a player can do during gameplay. This is the fundamental building block of every game. Mechanics can be something simple, like walking or running. They can be more complex, like jumping or ducking. They can even be exciting, doing things like shooting a gun, or if you get into a car, you're going to want to drive away. Those are all mechanics. Everything you do in a game is. But games are more complex than simple actions. When you take two mechanics and you put them together, you get a dynamic. A dynamic is some type of action that the player can experience when they mix two basic mechanics together. It can be said that dynamics are the interesting part of game design because they help you get from point A to point B without being bored. But what if getting to the end of the game, point B, isn't the point? What if you want to keep going further? Or what if just playing the game is the point? Something about that experience that makes it worthwhile. How do we talk about that? Aesthetics are the part of the game that make the player remember it, what the player will describe whenever they go to talk to their friends about it, whenever they try to recount what it was that they were doing. Was it fun, exciting, terrifying? These are the things that make aesthetics essential to game design, to let us know what the game was for. As a designer, you want to approach mechanics with a tools mentality. They're the tools that you give to players, the what that a player can do, whereas dynamic is more about the intention and application of those tools, the how. That all leads up to the aesthetic, which ends up being the why of game design. Why is a player going to play? What emotion or feeling are they trying to go after? And that aesthetic is what provides the satisfaction to that emotion. Each of these components is a building block that works together to give us a blueprint, to help us give a structure for our systematic game design approach. This is just an introduction for what we'll be covering over the next few weeks. We'll talk not only about generating mechanics, dynamics, and aesthetics, but also documenting and refining those things to create quality and meaningful gameplay.